This.
Yeah, I'm feeling it now, G.
Wait, pause before we reignite this argument. Oh, you know what? Let me.
If my manager assaults me again, I will be assaulting.
What are you talking about?
It is an original college dropout bar. Just status and equality.
I'm straight on my
When you get a chance.
What's up, y'all? Hey. Hi, guys. Oh, shoot, no.
Oh, we're recording. I'm over like, she's talking about that.
We probably need some bring you in music.
Yeah, I'm Marcus is all the way here for it.
I'm the best album he's ever made.
Alright, let me just make sure that this is all good.
Hold on.
Marcus is all the way for it. We may not have, first of all, hey y'all.
Yo.
Hey.
Hello, okay. You can clearly tell that this man right here is just
Ready to go.
ready with the heat. We ain't even start.
Fire.
Setting the mood.
I will say this because I'm pretty sure this camera is gonna die, so we might as well just go ahead and introduce ourselves. Starting this way.
What you mean the camera going down?
I know we're gonna have technical difficulties, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go from filming. We're probably gonna go from filming on that camera to filming on my phone because I just feel it in my spirit.
Well, we gonna just push through.
We're not doing that today. We're not doing that.
Oh my goodness. I'm dead. We got like 30 minutes on the camera, and I know good and well this is probably not going to end 30 minutes.
Nah.
Right. So, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I'm hearing my every point.
I'm hitting every point and keeping it politically correct.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
Incorrect.
All right, y'all. Well, welcome to the second episode of a semester off podcast. Clearly, you can see we're probably about to talk about Kanye. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Marcus Allen. I'm from Kansas City.
I'm Bruce Mayfield. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm Melissa. I didn't know we were. Yeah, I didn't know that. Right, as Kanye would say, I'm from Earth. Hello. Hi.
Wow.
Maya. Let's keep it simple. Arista from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey. Hey, so you know,
Bay.
so you know,
auditioning for this show.
Right. It's Charlotte. You're welcome.
Ooh. Did she correct you?
That was hard.
I was gonna say, dang, I don't got like a little burn effect, you know, like shh. I'm gonna add that though. All right, y'all. Before we get into any of our episodes, we always go over any epiphanies or any adventures you had this week. You know, what's life? Was it great? Anything great this week?
For sure. Anything, I guess, for the sake of just doing it. It was a good week. I think yesterday, or rather, just doing stuff, I'm more able to understand that a lot of the things that you do throughout the day, you have to find what's good, and you have to be able to accept every day as a good day. You have to find things that are constantly going to inspire you and make you happy and make you grow because they're always there. You're just not always focusing on them. That's my epiphany.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Back with the quotes. I don't know. Were you praying or were you sleeping?
I was feeling it.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Any epiphanies, adventures?
How was your week? it's been phenomenal. I like Bruce. You make what you make out of your life and out of your day.
Mm-hmm.
And I am stepping towards working on a project that I think will open a lot of avenues for me. So I'm excited about it.
Should we ask what kind of project, or did you use project to be discreet?
I use project to be discreet.
All right, say no more. Say no more. Moving on.
Next question.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely stealing that idea though.
Right.
I mean, I was here yesterday, so I pretty much told you how my week was. But I guess what's new?
Yo, your week was funny yesterday, bruh. She goes, what was it? Well, I was off last week, so you know it was great. Then I went to work. I was like, wait.
But I'm working on my book, so that's something great that happened. I'm on chapter. Don't worry about it.
Once I got back, I'm just working on my book.
Stay tuned.
Cliffhanger,
Right.
It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, what about you?
How was your week?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what made you laughing? My week was good. I can't complain. Like, I'm so excited that this finally happened.
Finally.
Right? So, and I can't wait to hear it once we're done. So, I can't complain at all.
Are you talking about the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
Cool.
Sir, you got anything to add?
Are you adding dramatic effect?
You were in Charlotte.
I went to Charlotte. I talk in rants, so I hope everybody's ready for that. So, beginning of rant. So the reason why I like Kanye a lot is because
Wait.
I'm talking about my week. I'm talking about my week. So the reason why I like Kanye a lot is because one of the things that Kanye exposed me to is like the perfect performance, like or perfect performance. Like I went to Life of Pablo, changed my life. But as a musician and as a DJ, like I'm in pursuit of the perfect performance. You know what I mean? So how I got to Charlotte.
Here's that DJ right there. He is a DJ. Okay. Go ahead.
An artist I used to work with, he had called me. I guess the DJ canceled him, so he called me like Friday night. He like, "Hey, can you go to Charlotte?" I'm like, "This is an odd request. Like, you know, like I don't know why I'm going to Charlotte." So he's like, "I got to do a show. I'm opening for Yo Gotti. It's a dub show. You know what a dub show is? It's a rim or a wheel company called Dub, and they make wheels. You know, 20 inches, 30 inches, whatever." So we did the show. But the execution was like amazing. I have a video of it. I'll show you later, like in full. But I was real proud of that because it was like on point, like both, like all of our parts as a DJ and as an artist. We didn't have like any effects or control over like the aesthetics, but you know it's just one step closer to like a perfect show.
That's awesome.
The rant over.
Word.
That is my adventure.
That was good though. You went last minute. That's crazy. That shows the level.
He paid me, you know, and I rode with him, so it was hard to say no, you know.
Right.
But Charlotte was dope. Like I'm from Kansas City, and I eat barbecue, and I'm like, we go to this barbecue spot, and I'm like, it's called Midtown something. But it was good. It was super good.
She here.
I mean, I might have messed up the name.
On try on?
It's all good. It's all good.
I know I'm probably gonna forget. So if you guys want to drop y'all social media handles or anything like that, anything that's gonna increase your pockets.
I'm gonna do it with the Jamaican horns.
Yeah.
In due time, you know, if it needs to happen.
I don't know what just happened, but all right.
I don't know what when your views go up, he got you.
I cannot. Okay. This is how I know who's been with me for numbers. Like. All right. So, anybody want to drop their social media or anything like that?
My Twitter handle is Kansas City Cash. You must use a 5 as an S on Cash. And my LinkedIn is Marcus Allen, M-A-R-K-I-S.
Ooh. All right, so we just gonna get what like right into our segment. Okay, so this here Kanye situation. Anybody want to go ahead and start off?
Bruce does.
Oh, go ahead, Bruce.
Because Bruce gonna say it's so perfect.
Here's where I am with it. All right.
Tell us where you at, Bruce.
This started with Through the Wire. Okay. This started with an artist that the minute he did something, it was different than what anybody else was doing. Everything that has happened after that has been, from different perspectives, crazy, innovative, genius, stupid, selfish, self-centered, narcissist.
All right, dictionary.
Whatever word you want to put on it.
Wait, okay, we should first address what the problem at hand is. Okay, so why are people such an uproar? And do you think it should be an uproar?
People still hurt. People are still hurt.
I will chime in on this.
That's my take. People
No,
still
because of
So there's two hurts here. Anyone who is not black is hurt because an innocent looking artist like Taylor Swift was violated in her moment to shine. That's why any non-minority is
Wait, what?
a non-black person is hurt because of the Taylor Swift incident.
Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about
Black
Kanye's
people are
current
hurt.
thing.
Yeah, black people are. Well, you got to add that to the hurt because he already hurt them.
We're in a timeline.
So this is like 20 years in the making. This is
I love
legitimately
it. This is
20 years in the making. Everyone, the black people are hurt because on live TV he said something hurtful. He said something about slavery, and people are emotionally tied to something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you make that type of comment, and when you support Trump, if people don't have your perspective, perspective is everything. And if people don't have your same perspective, you are just not going to be on the same page. And it's a lot of people that aren't on the same page views wise. Excuse me, with Kanye. And that's really, and then here's the other side of things with both situations. The reason why people are so in an uproar is because of the phone, because of everything we have access to. That's like when you was asking, why'd you stop using your Instagram? So I just don't have to see it,
But are you disconnected from the world?
Huh?
But are you disconnected from the world?
Sometimes it's okay.
That's not a bad thing.
Okay. Do you watch the news? Do you know what's going on?
I do. I mean, I sit in the gym. I got Fox News and CNN, and I'll see the headlines. I don't necessarily. I'll look up the story because I'm heavy in the news app too, but I won't buy into it or get emotionally connected to it to where I'm pissed off, or to where depending on what the situation is. If it's something I'm passionate about, then I might feel a certain type of way. But if the volcano in Hawaii is exploding, I'm sad for them folks, but I also gotta go to work. It's kind of one of them type of situations. So people are fueled by the media, whether it's news media, social media, and that adds to the fuel to the flyer, and it's almost like an instigator. So you got an argument, and then me and her in an argument, and then you got your instigator. Your instigator just throwing fuel on the fire. Right. And it's not making the situation any better because if you got some third parties, they can't really get a full spectrum or hear what I have to say, and they may not hear what they have to say. They're just hearing bits and pieces of things, and that's kind of my take on it.
I feel like were you gonna say something?
Well, I was gonna say, now add that on top of the fact that we're still talking about a dude who has done things that are completely unconventional to the rest of the status quo. And when you have a guy that is
on so many levels,
when you have a guy that is performing to that level, a lot of the things that he's doing, we are just now coming to understand, and it's now been 10 years after Through the Wire. It's been 15 years after Through the Wire, and this dude is still captivating our attention like this.
I don't think, okay, so as far as people being upset, the reason I think people are upset is because for those who kind of want to give Kanye a chance, they feel like, okay, you know what? You're doing a great, because I can respect Kanye in that he's making us have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? I can respect that.
That's the point.
And I can also respect the fact that he's a strategist. I feel like there's a strategy behind everything. At the end of the day, he's still an entertainer. So
right.
Being a genius kind of entertainer, that you have to be well enough to market yourself in a way that people are still going to remember you. I know that people are probably going to remember this conversation, but I also think people are upset is because of the fact that he's not, like, how you say there's like 2 points to it. I also feel people are upset, one, because he's not coming out of the mouth correct. Like, there's ways and there's different ways to go about doing things. And then on top of that, because it seems as if he's doing it while having black people as his scapegoat. Like, oh, like, it's cool. Like, okay, for example, the whole 400...
the elephant in the room.
Yeah, the little slavery is a choice comment. I can understand the whole elaborate, you know what? Well, I'm talking about the mental space that people are in, or black people are in. But if that was the story, then he should have been speaking from jump about currently, this is what I feel black people are in. They are in a mindset that they need to break. Not 400 years of slavery is a choice. Kanye is a smart man. He runs a whole like line that runs well. So that you can't tell me you can't put a full sentence together to make sense so that your choice of words are like come through efficiently.
Remember when he was fighting though against Sway on Sway's show, and everybody was like, when he went off and was like, you ain't got the answer, Sway. You ain't got the answer, Sway. He has already proven time and time and time and time again that not only does he has a certain vision at where he's trying to go, he's never not including everybody as well. Kanye has never positioned himself in the eyes of everybody like, all right, I'm this black dude that you should listen to me and you should make me to be everything that y'all want me to be because I'm in this space. He's always he's also taken responsibility to be an active representative for the black community. You don't just hop on television. When he gave the whole, we championed them that. We gave them that.
I can see, but I feel like in all of Kanye's career, even though yes he has worked on being just against the grain or whatever, he's also. It's like, okay, first of all, you don't go on national television, Bush doesn't care about black people, and not expect for the black community to rally behind you.
But
you don't go.
Wrong, though?
Okay, can I
But then to switch it up, yeah, go ahead.
I almost feel, you gotta understand.
Yes, right. Like, dramatic. You watch that.
But no, like when you and like I relate to Kanye so much just because like same situation, like you would expect him to not be able to. I mean, you would expect him to be able to just put a perfect sentence together and articulate himself like he's supposed to. But you know, it's one of my bullet points here. It's a difference between like an interview with Charlamagne the God, where you got a comfortable space and you can kind of, you know, speak your thoughts and really kind of have a conversation and people can get your perspective, to where you're in a situation like TMZ and we know the business of TMZ. And you're
but we know TMZ didn't tell him something. Okay, you're right, brother. Carry on.
And you're put on the spot and it's live. Like when it's live, like if I'm in the proper setting or if everything's how it's supposed to, just from a public speaking manner, like I've worked at least the last 5 years on my public speaking, just because it was a handicap for me. And it's like, you know, when you're put in that situation, you may say something to make yourself look like a fool. And there's nothing you can do at that point, because it's like, how we are as a society, we will crucify you the second that you say something.
But then it was repetitive. Like, it's one thing if it's like, oh, I said a side comment, you know, I'm sorry about that. But if you continuously, first of all, let's just regroup. Before we just talk about the whole abstract of Kanye, let's just get why, first of all, why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because a lot of people are in the uproar, right? And so
that shit done blown up. They looking at Met Gala outfit.
Right. Until Kanye tweets again. Okay. So
right. Until
so
he
I
tweets
guess
again.
Certain things that I guess I really kind of wanted to talk about was the what's it called, the MAGA hat, whatever the acronym is for it, the MAGA hat, MAGA, whatever, the hat, his TMZ comment, and what is the purpose of all of this? Like, is there truly a purpose about his like decision to just go all out?
Absolutely.
What did you have to say?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I understand you trying to say, oh, he was live on TV. But the reality of the matter is, you made a conscious decision to go on a live interview and be put on the spot.
You're right.
When you go into a conscious decision like that, you have to prepare. Now, whether you prepare properly, it's on you. Yeah. So to make an excuse saying, oh, well, when he was talking with Sway, it was a comfortable environment, you put yourself in the lion's den. As a consequence, you are responsible for the content that is coming out of your mouth, whether it be good or bad. And you are responsible to man up and say, you know what? I fucked up. And that's not exactly what I meant to say. What I meant to say was this. And that's the thing. Had he taken a moment like, you know what? What I meant to say was slavery in the mind. Because he said it in his interview. Because with the blacks, you can't talk about slavery with the Jews. Why didn't you choose the Jews then?
Right.
If that's the case, why did you choose the Jews?
And it looks like everything is building up.
Can I ask a rebuttal question?
Sure.
So, at any point in time, did he ever come out and say, hey, I fucked up, what I really meant was this? At any point, whether it was TMZ or any other outlet?
Yes, he went back through, but the reality of the matter is, you got to be quicker than that.
No, so here's where this is why people are in the upper.
I can't wait till the wave comes down to say, you know what, oh shit, I need to get a life vest. No, you got to be like, you know what, I got my life vest on deck. I got my whatever I need in order, in the event I get out in this ocean, and it's just me, in order to do that. There's no excuse. We have to stop.
I do agree with what you're saying.
It's not an excuse.
I agree in the sense where, if you make a mistake and you did not mean the words you said in that moment, you should have been like, oh shit, I didn't mean what I said. But one thing I do agree with you guys is when you said how, you're talking about how Kanye is like a representation for the people. But he didn't choose that spot. He didn't choose to.
There's two. You can't.
I'm saying in the effect where
you in the spotlight, you are the representation.
But that's not. But he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to black living. Like
even I understand. Okay, so clearly he's not running for office or anything. But you can't. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like past before. I'm not talking about.
Let me pause that. Wait. She touched on something. Listen. Linda, listen.
I'm happy you ain't say Felicia, because I would have been like, Linda's listening. Let's go.
We're gonna pause that. We're gonna veer off into another lane. And this is why I wholeheartedly support Kanye.
Wholeheartedly.
When you think about Trump, it's infuriating off of some of the decisions that he makes and the things that he says. But bottom line, at the end of the day, Trump probably at the end of 4 to 8 years is going to have the biggest global brand, period.
By default.
And as a businessman at 70, he don't care about media and what we think. He care about securing generations.
The same way Obama.
Wait, but is that your is that for the black people's generation?
Of course not.
So that's the thing. That's why it's dangerous because
it is dangerous, but in politics it is what it is. All politics is honestly the only clean cut campaigns that I've seen in the last maybe 10 years is Obama and who was the guy running against Hillary?
Trump?
No. Bernie. And I'm sure there's many other examples like that. But as far as out of the folks who win, your campaign is everything. If you ever been in any form of politics, student government, anything, your campaign is everything. You either win or you don't win. You see what I'm saying? And it's whoever wins, they have that leverage. So it's when he gets out of office, he's going to have the biggest brand because everybody in the world knows Trump. You see what I'm saying?
I understand that, but it's still, okay, everybody in the world knows Trump, but everyone also has an issue with Trump.
Why does that matter?
Because of the fact that
why does that matter to
Trump? It may not matter to Trump, but that's why people are also upset about Kanye, because if it doesn't matter to Trump and you're supporting a man that to which the country's environment or the country's safety, the country's well-being doesn't matter to that man, then in essence, you know what I'm saying? Then that's how it's seeming. That's when shit just falls apart.
Right,
like the situation with
hold on. Let me put another dynamic to that. Let me put another dynamic to that. Okay. So, granted, I don't stand for a lot of what Trump says and does in the media, on TV, his whole personal life. I don't know it, but I can look at a guy like him and say he has a lot of things that he's dealing with, and he's not dealing with it the right way.
You talking about?
I'm talking about Trump, right? Hold on, but for what I'm saying though, as a president, we're looking at how reckless he's being, how reckless the things that he's saying and he's doing, and we're like, bruh, what up? What are you doing? Obama came to Kanye West's house, right? The same president that when he was in office, all of the black community was behind Obama and was like, this guy he's for us, he's doing this and he's that and the other, and he went and knocked at Kanye West's house. Mm-hmm. Kanye has just made the connection that I need to be aligning with the president of the free world in order for people to hear what I got to say. Whether they like it or not, I gotta be aligning with the most powerful person in the world in order for my voice to even be heard because of who I am as a celebrity. As a black man, I'm judged off of being a black man.
Are you about to correlate this to that's why he needs to be aligning with Trump?
No, I'm correlating with the fact that he's aligning with presidential status so that he can make the real moves that all of us as the regular people are sort of just looking at as why is he aligning with Trump? Really he's aligning with the same thing that he was aligning with 10 years ago, and Obama called him a jackass.
So you Obama
called him a jackass for the Taylor Swift incident.
Yeah, this I knew. Okay, here's my thing. All right. Let's say, for example, even if Kanye was doing this to gain white votes, right, and Kanye were to be a Republican, it is almost belittling to the Republican Party that Kanye feels that, let's say for example, you know, Kanye's mega scheme or mega plan is, you know what, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get these people's votes, and then when I get to the White House, I might paint it some type of crazy shit, and then on top of that, I'm gonna go and make things that are actually gonna make changes in my community.
That's what every presidential candidate does.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if he gets there, one second. If he gets to that point, but things that, let's say for example, he's trying to pass a rule or a law that's gonna make education free for people in Chicago, just something crazy. You really think his constituents are gonna be like, you know what? That's real wise just because they belong to the Republican Party? Absolutely not. So he has to be real careful, because if you're trying to get to the point where you're trying to get white votes to get into the White House because you're really trying to make a change, you also have to understand that there's going to still be challenges there once you truly get to that White House.
Yeah, just like every job.
Every day.
But you already have the job.
He's already there.
But I feel like the plan is contradicting, because he's doing this to gain white votes. He's losing black votes
I don't
at the
think
same
he's
time.
doing it to gain white votes.
He already has white votes.
Let me peel a layer back on the Trump theory. Think about this for a second. Trump did really two things. Like I said, your campaign wins. Once you win, it's no holds barred. You can go back on everything you said. It's not a game. So you got Trump. He did two things. One, he went to every single state. He went to every single state, rural America.
Call it what it is.
And it's like I've worked on a farm that's an hour away from Kansas City. Like I've been to a city that has 150 population in it, and it's like for you to go out to all these different markets and really shake hands and kiss babies, you're gonna gain a vote just off of that. Like Hillary,
the baby's cried. He ain't never had time to kiss babies.
Hillary thought she was just gonna roll in on the Obama train and get all these states that Obama won just because she was a Democrat, and that's not how it's gonna work. Not 8 years after Obama. So you got that, boom, hit the road, did a tour, and then you got to think about the other side of it, which we kind of know and kind of don't know. Basically, $500,000 was spent in what?
Clothing, style, fashion. He made Nike have to change their whole situation.
I agree with you that Kanye do know how to build a brand. Like he's really talented. He's a great producer. He knows how to build a brand. But I don't feel as if his attitude and his actions right now in society is working out. Like, I don't think he is like.
He can't worry about that right now.
I know he can't worry about that. I mean, but at the end of the day, how can I say, he's building a brand. Like, it's as if he doesn't care about his brand. Okay, so it's as if he doesn't care because he's losing supporters. Like, you're saying, oh, he's not losing that much.
You're saying he's losing supporters, but he's got 30 million on Twitter alone. He's like, his wife got 50 million. You see what I'm saying? Like, and this is just one social media. The presidency was won on 500,000 in social media ads. The presidency. So it's like, I get what you're saying, but at any point, people can shift the American view on anything. That's how much control like social media and news and media has over us. Now, like us having this debate, we have free thought, as Kanye would say. So, we can speak up for ourselves and we can have our own opinion. For the average Joe that's out there, it's whatever's coming through the feed. Period.
I think, and that is one of the reasons why I was real upset, is because Kanye went for, like you said, the average Joe, right? So I feel like Kanye should know the people who are following him or the people who look up to him. You can't. How am I going to explain to 13-year-old like Jamal, hey, this is what he meant? Like, somebody's not going to have the time of day to express that to him. So he needs to understand that he's going to have youngins or even people who are grown adults who don't understand his message. But really the only thing really because I don't care for his own political view, but the only thing I'm really upset about is the 400 years comment. Like, people don't do I learned two things from this. Besides that comment was like really out the way. But Kanye being disconnected from society is dangerous when he aligns himself to a political campaign, because it's different. He wants to say, I'm attracted to his dragon fire. There's people out here that's been doing things for Chicago, or, for example, the progression of all people that go against the norm. I not one time have heard about Kaepernick in all of this. And then on top of that, for you to align yourself with somebody and not know their political agenda, that's ignorant to me. That's like saying, because to the average Joe, they're looking at it like, oh shit, he really out here saying, I'm rocking with Trump, even though his bigger message, like this bigger message of love everybody.
What's wrong with that?
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. His bigger message of love everybody is great, but then when you say, I agree with the way Candace Owens thinks, then that deteriorates from your message of love everybody. Now you're making a political decision. That's something different.
That doesn't mean all her thoughts.
He didn't clarify.
Here's the thing.
But listen, but it's
absolutely.
like,
you are responsible for the content that comes out of your mouth, because you cannot make someone interpret it the way that you want them to interpret it based off
if you're not clear.
If I say, you know what, I think that white is red, you're like, the fuck? What the hell is she saying? That's what I said. But I'm like, no, actually, I'm colorblind, so this is the way that I see it.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
It just
you
seems
are responsible
bad.
for it. How disrespectful is that shit? You literally just said that these people chose slavery. That is one view. That is wrong.
Yeah,
Why? And here's the thing. Why are we always no? Why are we no? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do I know Kanye personally?
Probably not.
Do I study Kanye?
Probably not.
Nope. So based off of what he said, that's what he meant.
That's all.
I said what I said, and I meant it what I said.
That's all the information, but that's because that's your perception. You feel that he meant what he said. Now, whether you think it's an excuse, whether you think he should have did it immediately, regardless of the situation.
Here's the thing: if you say
can't
some
judge him
bullshit
just
at your
how
job,
I can't judge
you know what?
anybody else.
You said some bullshit at your job, and you're cut. That's
right, but he ain't employed by nobody.
But here's the thing:
he's not employed by nobody.
That's what makes it realistic.
That's an excuse for people just saying reckless shit just because this is. I want you to dig deeper. Say what the hell you meant then.
That's your expectation.
Don't sit
that's
here
your
and disrespect the people that came after you, because those
don't
people
watch TMZ.
Those people
don't watch Kanye West. Stop asking us about that. You choose to consume that.
Here's the thing.
You can ignore it. You can ignore it.
We all friends here.
We are.
Right?
But you can ignore it.
But here's the thing. If you are going to say that I meant whatever, slavery was a choice. When you are going to say, I said that slavery is a choice.
The Lord says to forgive.
Listen.
Forgive.
Why Marcus.
Okay,
Marcus.
I think
Here's the problem with talking to people who support Kanye, because they get to the point where they're so elevated and above, they don't take the time to listen. Right? Did anybody cut Marcus off while he was talking? No. Did Marcus have an opportunity to go through it? Yes. So you got your dragon energy. Put that shit back in the Pokeball, okay? Because now what you just did is you Kanye'd me. You're not giving respect to anyone. Your opinion is number one, and that's it, and that's all you see.
It's not about a number one.
But the reality, nope, that is. And see, you can't even let me finish talking what I'm saying without you.
You like my mama right now.
What is it? For real though.
It's the dragon energy.
It's for real though. You literally just said we need to
reality.
forgive Kanye, so you're subconsciously saying he did something wrong to forgive.
Thank you.
So you
I
can't
never
really.
said he didn't.
Can I say, okay, one thing, side comment, y'all. I love all of this energy, all of this dragon energy.
I don't got no dragon energy.
But y'all just know I can't separate the voices. So y'all sound like all together.
Here's the thing. This was the point that I wanted to make, because Arista and Marcus, y'all are totally right in exactly what you're saying. But here's the point in what I want to get out, at least if I don't say anything else. When everybody, because I saw where this was going. When we looked at Black Panther, right? Because we can look at movies. I tend to look at movies because a lot of the things that in movies are realistic, right? But Black Panther was probably one of the more realistic movies we at least seen in a year or so.
I don't have a waterfall outside my house, but all right.
Right, but you
are you talking about?
Your ancestors. The real part is your ancestors are from Africa. The real part,
I get what you.
The real thing is that your ancestors are from Africa.
I follow you.
That's a fair thing to at least say. We all got some type of tie to ancestors in Africa. And when he said slavery, that sounds like a choice to me. I understood what he said instantly. I didn't necessarily agree.
Don't forget the 400 years.
Hold on, 400 years. It could be 400 years, it could be 500
years,
600 years.
The difference between saying slavery is a choice versus 400 years of slavery is a choice is that
what he specifically said was slavery. That sounds like a choice to me.
You ain't get 400? Because I heard 400.
400 years? That sounds like a choice to me. Now, what I would say in most cases is that in the first hearing of that, the only people that are really upset by him saying that is black folks. We the only ones that are really mad by that. White people ain't really mad about that statement. Jewish people, they not really mad about that. We're the ones still hurt because of what he said. The choice that he was talking about was impossible.
Oppression.
It was an impossible choice for our ancestors to have to make. The choice in slavery was either back then.
I hear what he's saying. I understand what he's saying.
Marcus, be quiet. Let him finish.
Even for the sake of being in slavery in the United States back then, it was either you was a slave or you died. It wasn't you was a slave and then you get the choice to go out and be free and be happy. There was nothing in here for the United States when we was here. There was nothing for those slaves that got freed after Abraham Lincoln.
So basically, all they had death or slavery.
That's all you had. That's all you had.
You would have been extinct by now.
That's all you had.
That is the dangerous issue of that statement.
It's dangerous.
And you and I had this conversation,
we
right?
have.
The reality of the matter is, if you say slavery was a choice, sounds like a choice to me.
I mean, you want to live or you want to die. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Don't equate being in bondage with choosing to live.
Right.
Because what he's neglecting is, no, slavery was not the choice. The choice was life. Mm-hmm. The choice was life. Now, whether that life was perfect, that's some other shit. But the choice was life. But to say that slavery was a choice, no, they didn't choose slavery. They chose to live. It's extremely dangerous.
And to be and
can I raise his hands? Girl, put your hand down because you talk too much.
Okay, so I think with the comment, what really bothers me about the comment is that the comment, it just, even in modern times, like when people say that black people choose to be the victims or black people choose to be in this this mindset, people don't know their statistics. So let me just pull out some of the little research that I did, you know what I'm saying?
Research papers.
All right.
That's why she asked us if we wanted paper.
She was gonna be prepared while all of us was going off our emotions and spirits.
Here is my my situation with the comment. You know, I don't even need most of these because you know they just are anywhere.
You just threw it out there.
Wait. Let me just get this out of the way. When people say the problem with the comment that bothered me because what bothered me was that it is implying that black people continuously choose to be in this mindset. Now, we have to also understand that because of physical slavery and the mental things that they put in the mindsets of the slave, it explains why we are at this particular point today. But the media does not I got you, let me just finish this point. The media does not ever emphasize on
I'm taking notes now.
the media does not ever emphasize on the things that are actually being done. Case in point. First of all, just taking this from all of the statistics, black people account for 13.3% of the population, right? They also account for roughly 39% of the jail population.
We see
on
13.
top of that, huh?
Go ahead, it's all 13.
And then on top of that, black women, but so while not only accounting for less of the population, but accounting for the majority or a good majority of the jail population, there's really not a lot of us out here that has the choice to think freely if we're not being caught by like cops or if we're not being like stopped by other things that are stopping us in life that we have challenges with. So on the positive note, black women are the they're graduating at a faster rate and they account for more of like the degrees. Where I got the little so what I'm getting at dang, I had the statistics.
I do got a black girl magic Kanye theory too.
Okay, for example, in 2009, all right, black women accounted for 66% of the bachelor's degree that was out there, 71% of the master's, and 65% of the doctorates. So what I'm getting at, and then on top of that, in the last 10 years, black businesses have almost doubled. Mind you, black people are not getting loans. So so this victim mentality is really what bothers me because we are progressing. We're not getting credit for that though. But you're gonna go and completely just be like, this slavery thing this slavery thing is what's really putting black people behind as far as they feel like they're stuck. No, what you need to emphasize on is the fact that we're actually making choices and we're actually making moves even though all the odds are against us. You have people out here that's coming from jail building crazy businesses, but you don't see that on the news. Yeah. So of course it's gonna look like, we're saving the victim.
Here's the thing. Again, let Marcus say his point. Let Marcus say your point.
I'm just gonna throw a theory out there to, get the thoughts going.
Don't let that theory be negligent.
Roll with me.
I'm rolling.
You got TMZ Live. Trade Kanye out with Harriet Tubman. Keep the same comment. Thoughts?
You said TMZ Live.
Take TMZ Live. You're in the middle of slavery at this point. But you still got TMZ Live. We're making a statement here.
Not the same.
How is it not the same?
Not the same because there's a real life connection. Harriet actually lived in it. I'm sorry.
Did we just no, listen, I'm gonna get my thought out. You're not gonna shape my thought.
You're not gonna
theory that I'm throwing out there.
You want to be a free man?
Yeah, theory that I'm throwing out there.
That's the point.
That's the point. It's like
I see where you're coming from, but I got to
I'm just provoking the thought.
That's the point.
I want to hear it.
If you have slavery up until this point, and I'm just brainstorming on this how far I've thought out about it. I'm like, what if what he was trying to say? Because it's like when you don't give people a chance to clarify themselves or finish a thought, just because I've been in the scenario, Like, it just is what it is. Now, you can think that that's an excuse or not, but we human, so it just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't never been on TMZ Live. I ain't never seen you on live TV trying to answer some questions. I don't know how you would respond to that, but if you fuck it up, I'm not gonna crucify you. If I care enough, I'm gonna try to clarify or try to read between the lines, dig through, decipher what you're trying to say, just because I'm that type of person. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm looking at it from a bunch of different angles. One of the angles is, if slavery was up until a point, somebody like a Harriet Tubman, somebody like a Malcolm X, somebody like MLK had to say, we ain't doing this shit no more. You see what I'm saying? Like, and they made the choice to go this way. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if your intent was like that, and you're still getting crucified, it's just kind of one of those situations. And I feel like everybody's so passionate about it because it does deal with something that hits hard to home as far as like oppression is concerned. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you said, I don't know the person. I'm just going off of, one of multiple theories. You don't know the person. It's just an agree to disagree.
He could have had backup.
I actually agree with his little analogy comment. His little analogy and whatnot. Because, okay, I don't know the quote. I don't know the quote verbatim.
It's gonna turn my phone real quick.
Okay.
No, but finish your statement.
I'm gonna let you finish your statement.
I do believe, I do in a sense agree with what you're saying, because back then when Hillary was helping the slaves escape and whatnot, if she
wait, did you say Hillary? Not Hillary.
We know it too big.
Here we go.
This is what I'm talking about. National TV. On national TV. Crucify you. She's saying Hillary. Let it come.
But she's surrounded by people who love her, who are willing to correct her.
That wasn't the case in TMZ. It wasn't nobody on Kanye's staff there. It was just him alone.
Don't nobody love Jay.
You are responsible for
Don't
responding.
nobody
But I also
love
caught it
Jay.
incorrected in
You're
that
right.
moment.
Don't nobody love Jay.
You're right.
Here's my point.
You do.
Can I answer?
I looked up James already. I looked up Yeezy Jobs already. I got people friends on LinkedIn that work for Yeezy. It's not a game. I mean, like, no, you can't go up in there. No.
Marcus was like, hey,
Can I
so
answer
maybe
this,
you
though?
should retract that in this shit.
Hey, get it down. Shut it down.
I can't hear none of y'all.
Marcus,
Okay.
that's it.
But how is this?
What I was saying.
I think you can retract the last thing.
I got to use the bathroom. It's so real right now. It's so real.
What I was gonna say is, I do agree in a sense where, if we were back then in slavery, during slavery time, where it was very prominent, and Hillary, damn it, Harriet.
Listen, we just gonna call her H right now.
If Harriet did go, and say, now slavery is a choice, I would actually understand where she would be coming from, because if she is here trying to support you and help you escape and giving you another choice, not life and death, but life, another choice, freedom, let's go find your freedom, of course it'll become a choice. Because
to what extent if the law is behind you? To what extent if?
But I'm saying to the extent where there's like it's not black and white anymore. There's gray matter in the middle. There's another choice. There's hope now. There's more.
It's always gray. It's all what he was saying. On top of the fact of saying it sounds like a choice, it was millions of us over here. But other than maybe like. What I'm thinking that Kanye wasn't talking about the slaves who didn't know that they were slaves. He was talking about the slaves that knew that they were in slavery and did nothing about it.
So then
I'm talking about Harriet as an activist who is actively trying to help her people versus Kanye.
Kanye would have been one of the same people with Harriet Tubman saying,
I don't believe so. Kanye would have been with.
We need to be out of here.
Kanye would have been with Abraham Lincoln. He would have been with Abraham Lincoln.
We cannot stay here.
Okay, so
how is he doing that right now? For real.
Exactly, because
if he's not showing us Harriet, what is he currently doing right now that has provoked you to say that Kanye is a Harriet?
Everybody saw This Is America.
Trying to end bullying.
No,
everybody saw it. Hold on.
Supporting a president that's a big ass bully?
Hold on.
Exactly. Carry on.
Yesterday,
or they
You
was
about to
bringing
be
it
honest,
back.
guys.
This is the problem. This is the problem trying to talk to people that don't really know about gay.
Okay,
like
no,
that.
but no.
It's
No,
almost like you have to spend hours.
Because one decision outweighs the other. This is the
You're
problem with talking to people that
it's
don't
not
really
even
know.
that. But
It's
it's because you're a fan of his music and his work that you're saying, oh, he can't do no wrong.
I
But
didn't
y'all
say he can do it wrong. I clearly said he did
if
wrong.
we're looking,
I clearly said he did wrong.
but I go
Let's
to
talk about the comment.
no, I go to a point and say
it's
no.
many
But you're saying he did no wrong. How did he?
Here's what
It
I'm
was
saying.
the wrong thing to
And
say
but
on
you're
live
clouded
TV.
by your
Period.
That's different than I apologize because I hurt you or I apologize because you feel bad.
Here's the thing.
We have so many
Here's the
sides.
thing.
that's different statements.
First of all, you're not gonna apologize to me. You're gonna apologize for hurting my damn feelings.
I apologize for hurting you. That doesn't change what I'm going to say.
Wait.
But I'm sorry that it hurt you.
Okay, Bruce, make this point. Make this point.
That wasn't
Right,
I'm sorry.
thing.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make this
Here's
point.
the thing. No, it's cool. It's all cool. We
But the
chill.
question was, what? No, because I love you, Bruce. You know that I do. But Bruce, you be like, what is the question? The sky is blue. The grass is green. I need the answer. The question answered. What is Kanye doing? What is Kanye doing currently?
If I
that
could-
would be a reflection to Harriet Tubman back in the day. I'm listening.
When we're talking about free thought,
Melissa, get up out of his face.
when we're talking about actually challenging the status quo, when we're talking about going against society and what they told us to think, everything that he has done after Through the Wire has completely been an example of what he is trying to get us to do. He has been saying in every single album, get free. He's been saying in every single album, think for yourself. He's been saying in every single picture that y'all seen, dress how the fuck you want to dress. He's been saying in every single image that y'all have thought either he's looking crazy, you need to change or at least rethink what you're thinking. And now that he's gotten to a platform as to who he is as a man, as Kanye West, he has an opinion that is against what a lot of black people are wanting to say is a good thought, because he is challenging what we want to say is good, but it's not good. We wanted to hate Killmonger at the end of that movie. But when he said, bury me in the waters where my ancestors fell, because we knew that death was better than bondage. A lot of black people do not want to get killed. We get that. We seeing them in the news. We seeing people going through a lot of things and this and that and other. But black people, even back then in slavery, they swear, oh yeah, it could have been me. I couldn't have went through none of that. Yeah, you would have. If a master came to you and told your ass to go in there and pick that cotton, your ass was going to pick that cotton. You could have talked all this shit you was going to say.
Okay,
You could have talked all that you
okay,
could have said that,
you're
but you were still going to do what you wanted to do. Had you heard a girl like Harriet Tubman say what you want to say, if you was a slave born into that, you would have thought that that was crazy. But Kanye's talking about those slaves that got pulled over from Africa, that was sitting there, that knew we ain't supposed to be over here.
Yeah, but
we need to get the hell out of here.
Bruce, I'm still going to pose this question to you because I still don't think that you've answered it. What is Kanye doing outside of lyrics in an album?
Because
That
what is a leader?
To Harriet Tubman.
Is-
What is he physically doing?
Is the leader somebody
outside of
that
lyrics
says
in the album? Because if
I break it down. I break it down. I break it down. I break it down. Marcus answered it. Marcus answered it. Marcus answered it, but I break it down.
Okay.
Marcus answered it.
because he's supporting the
He
woman.
answered it. He
That doesn't make
answered it.
any
Marcus
sense.
answered it, but he broke it down.
Theory is gonna kill him.
Marcus answered it.
It's gonna kill him.
Marcus
no
answered it.
idea how deep it is.
He answered it, but I break it down.
Oh, he's not breaking it down.
Kanye is at a level like Michael Jackson.
What is he
was.
doing?
What is he doing physically? When he gets on TMZ and he shows that artists and guys like him who are always scrutinized on the media's coverage, when he gets on TMZ and says, hey, I went and took lipo. Hey, I done been on pills. Hey, I done had drugs ingested in me because we're trying to figure out how that we can suppress a guy like me talking. Everything that Kanye West has been saying since he has come into the game has been, my bad, has been for the sake of saying that if you look at what I'm doing, if you at least listen to what I'm trying to say, my whole career, my whole catalog is what I've done. Y'all are just, and I'm saying y'all for the people who are not Kanye West fans like me and Marcus are, y'all are just now coming into the fold and listening to what this dude has been saying. Y'all might have been bobbing y'all heads when he was talking about Gold Digger. Y'all might have been turned when he was talking about Can't Tell Me Nothing. Y'all might have been supportive of him when he was saying, y'all might have been supportive.
Just let him rant.
Well, I understand, but this is what he did.
No, let him rant.
So who knows?
What's wrong with that? Kim Kardashian, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't like Kim Kardashian because of, okay, you might like her, cool. But a lot of black women don't. And a lot of black women don't because Kim Kardashian, she done went out and got surgery. Now, I'm not against it. No, I'm not opposed it. No, and this maybe, okay, maybe her family is appropriated. Maybe her family has found little different things to appropriate against. Maybe it's her dad who now is Caitlyn who was Bruce. Or maybe it was just her mom. Whatever it is. Everybody at one point has had an opinion about Kim Kardashian. But at the same time, Kim Kardashian has flipped something that was meant for her negative, and she has transcended and made money not only for her family, but for generations after.
Right, exactly. Because the thing, what Kim Kardashian did, a black woman can't get away with.
Period. That's the point. A black woman can't get. A black woman cannot get away with what Kim Kardashian.
So is that not a reason to support her?
Yes.
So why is that? Pause. Now, wait, I need to know why. You're telling me because not what you're saying. Right. What you're saying now is that a black woman can never do what Kim Kardashian can do.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Melissa, run the tape back.
That's what I heard. Okay, so let's find out what he's saying. Exactly what she did.
This is what I'm saying.
They don't want to hear what you're saying. They don't want to hear what you're saying.
I'm glad.
You're not ready.
You in the moment.
They are not
You
ready.
correct yourself.
They are not
You
ready.
did what you said. You did what you said like Kanye on TNT.
We're going to let you have this.
You did what you said.
We're going to let you have this.
No. You did what you said. She had her hands up. It's your turn now.
Bruce is done.
We're trying to clarify because
it is
I
Reese's turn.
understand. No,
Let her go. I need to let her go.
One statement, Shawty.
You
One
know
statement.
what?
Once you say your statement,
In my turn,
move the
in my
book.
turn, I'm gonna wait for Bruce to get back because
I'll go. I'll go.
No, because in all honesty,
Did you have something?
in all honesty, I need to clarify because here's
Okay, he'll clarify. He's not here right now. He's not here right now. So,
and I want to put this out here, but here's
He's
the
not-
issue.
okay.
Here's the issue with what he just said.
but he already said it. He ain't
And I
changing it.
understand, I know, and that's why I'm seeking to understand because outside of me actually liking Bruce and respecting
But you don't want to
him,
seek to understand Kanye.
for what?
The
But
same reason
it's
why
not like
we
Kanye is
talking.
sitting right here speaking to us and trying to explain his position.
But the information is
Kanye is
there.
going out on media,
The
social
information
media,
is there.
saying stupid ass shit and expecting us to
That's
understand.
what happens
Think
sometimes.
deeper.
You say
Think
stupid ass
deeper.
shit.
Like,
No,
I
here's
can't.
the thing. If I go out and I decide to act reckless, I as a person am going to go by all means necessary to correct myself so that way people can understand what the hell I meant. What the hell I said. The reality of the matter is, if you don't burn bridges, you burn bridges, bruh. And sometimes that shit is gonna be hard. This life ain't easy, and he should take that note from Harriet Tubman and all those slaves that chose slavery. This is just what the fuck he's gonna have to deal with. This is what the fuck he's gonna have to deal with.
Let me tell you something.
That's what he's gonna have to
tell
deal
you
with.
something.
Point blank period.
Nothing. There will be no fuck up greater than interrupting Taylor Swift. A little white girl.
But you don't say that because she's white.
But
Right,
that's you heard the population. You heard the
But you're
statistics.
saying that because
We are
she's
3% of the population.
13. But here's the thing.
Sorry, we're 13.3% of the population.
But here's the thing.
He got on.
If he fucked up with the greater white population, and now he's fucked up with the greater black population, the reality of the matter is, coming from a PR background, that nigga got some work to do.
Oh my God, what are y'all talking? Yo,
A few moments later.
Y'all, let me be real honest with y'all. Okay, we had an hour.
Gotcha. Hold on.
We had an hour.
Hold on.
We had an hour and like almost 20 minutes. So I'm gonna need y'all to. When I do this, that means stop arguing, finish your point, and then we're gonna have to play raise hands. Cause
Hold on. You're fired. You're fired, and this is why. If you think that this has ruined his like
Did
PR
I say that?
Okay,
I said you got a lot of work to do.
For what? The work is done. The work is done.
Okay,
TMZ is the biggest thing that could have happened
to
in
drop a bomb
2018.
and to leave it there, that's not, the work is done. Now
It's
you
left-
dropped the
it's
bomb.
left for you. It's not left for me.
You created the
It's
hole,
left
so
for
now
you.
where you
It's
want
not left
to-
for me. It's left for the general
But here's the
public.
thing,
It's not
but
left for the
either
people
way,
that.
Either way, you still got work to do.
No, you don't. You gotta drop an album and you gotta go on tour.
Is that
and then
not
you gotta
work?
run for presidency.
Is that
Then
not
you gotta do some
Kanye.
Then you gotta serve the community.
Is that
That's how you gotta do.
Is that not work?
It's not PR work.
It's what Kanye.
It's
It's
PR.
what
He has to work on the community.
Y'all.
Okay, as long as it's positive.
It's
As
PR
long as
work,
it's
y'all.
positive.
He has to build his
I didn't
image.
hear all of
It's
y'all.
after he's building his image all over again.
It's
From someone
Kanye.
like PR, you either if that you drop the bomb, it's cool. How we gonna spin it? You still have work to do.
Is what Kanye
I'm tired.
is what Kanye
I don't
did.
answer. We come your ass.
Okay, as an entertainer, do you think this is not just for Kanye? This is for like general people, whatever, everybody. As an entertainer, do you think that actually, you know what? That's like right out the window. But
hold on.
First of all,
I wanted to hear Russell's point. I wanted to hear what you had to ask me, and I wanted to hear your point in it.
Why the hell are we supporting?
I need you to clarify what you meant when you said Kim Kardashian is popping with her black antics because she's not black.
Okay, here's what I'm saying.
And why we should support that?
Here's what I'm saying.
Right, especially why to support that
Here's
because
what I'm
that
saying.
was kind of difficult. For me.
This is what I'm saying in general.
How you gonna tell me what I've been doing for the last 10 years is popping? But
Only the white girl. You ain't see her pants now. All right, she been popping.
These are mini buns. No, bitch. Those are Bantu Those are Bantu knots. Like those are Bantu.
Here's the thing. Here's what as black people, and I'm speaking to my people right now, right?
Speak to me.
Your people.
When we do things,
Oh my God! Look at the camera, y'all. I can't.
when we do things in the United States, whether it's accepted or not, the shit is hot. The shit is cultivating. The shit is the first time we've never seen it. Everything that we do is on point.
Does that make it right? Finish your
Okay,
point,
thank you for that plug. We lit. Carry on. Are you?
I'm blind.
With what Kim
Oh, is it
Kardashian's
prescribed?
Yeah.
with what Kim Kardashian's family,
I'm not gonna be able to see anything for the rest of this.
with what Kim Kardashian has done, is separate than what Kim Kardashian's family has done.
Everyone's individuals. We talk
I'm
about
not
this
saying
over
this.
here.
We just carry on because he
Let me flow.
gonna get to
This is a
I
large-
have faith
let
that
me
Bruce
flow.
is gonna
This is a
get
large
to
cup of
Let
liquid.
me flow.
He's gonna hit something.
It's
He said he's gonna hit
nervous
something.
as
He hit something
Let me
already.
flow.
I know he gonna hit something. I have faith in Bruce.
Bruce, let's
Me too,
rephrase that whole
Kardashian.
sentence.
Me
For
too.
real.
What Kim
Carry on.
Kardashian has done and what her family has done is completely separate, right? Now, how we want to remember Kim Kardashian in most cases is that we want to remember that Ray J video.
I was
I
gonna
have
say
never
fashion
seen that.
icon, but I have seen the Ray J video. But I would say fashion icon.
No, we're not going off of my point. We're gonna let you finish your point.
No, I got something to say.
Mine's point is my point.
I've never seen that video.
You never saw the video.
It's average.
It's
Don't be
average.
scared.
Did you see the video?
I listened to the
Real
song.
extra.
You listened to the
It's
song.
average.
Did you see the video?
Hell no.
Did you even
I was
know?
underage at the time.
You was underage.
You in high school?
Who was Kim Kardashian with when that
I
all
want to see
went
his
down?
face.
Who was Kim Kardashian with?
Kanye, right? No,
No.
can you just wait?
Who was she with?
Right now? Is it Kanye?
No, Reggie Bush, right?
Oh, with the tape.
Shit, I don't know.
Who was?
I'm not a
In the
fan.
tape. Okay, can you tell us because Ray J's song, Ray J.
So, with Ray J's song, I hit it first, right?
Wait. Oh, it's not in the video. I'm talking about in that. Oh, wait, never mind.
When Ray J put out that song, Now, like everything else, for most people that are standing in the same position that Kim Kardashian was in that sense, that would have not only broke their career, that would have completely demonized them for the rest of their life if she went out and had a sex tape with Ray J.
So why are we celebrating Kim Kardashian?
Why are we celebrating Kim Kardashian? When somebody comes down on you, when somebody come down on you and talk all of the shit that they have said to you, Kim Kardashian is damn near like Teflon Don in this case.
But you have to understand that. Okay,
Who else? Hold on.
Yes,
Who else? Who else is Kim Kardashian mimicking after?
But
who else?
Black people cannot
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Who is Kim Kardashian mimicking herself after?
I'll wait.
No.
As in currently or
like what are you?
Who is she mimicking? Why do we hate the Kardashians?
Nobody knows.
Black women. Arista said it. It's black women. Everybody else was talking. I knew Arista was going to say black woman. Now, if we're going to look at everything that we want to say about Kim Kardashian, she's getting hit with the same shit that black women are getting hit with every day.
She is not. No, she is not.
She is.
What we're not going to do is equate Kim Kardashian to a black woman.
We're not.
Oh, hell no. Hear me out, because I love you, Bruce. I really do. But if you start going down this route, bro, I'm really going to talk to you.
I am not equating Kim Kardashian to a black woman. There is no comparison. But what it is that because black people, we are still hurt. We don't want to let a guy like Kanye date a girl like Kim Kardashian.
It's not that we're
We don't want her to get married to a black man. We don't want her to have
a white woman.
We don't want
everything we're doing.
Exactly.
She's living our lives on a daily basis.
But she doesn't get the critique. So why are we celebrating? So why are we celebrating?
We're not celebrating.
You just said.
You're not celebrating.
You're not. Okay.
We're not celebrating.
I'm about to get real high.
Okay.
The feminist in me about to come out real quick.
Come out.
Let me tell you something.
I want everybody to stand up when I'm saying this.
Okay, wait.
I know exactly. I know exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
I know exactly what I'm saying. If a guy like Kanye West, okay, has figured out that as a black man, there's only so many things that I can do in this society. When Kanye was with a black woman, back in the day when he was making college dropout, the graduation, late registration, and all of that, it was acceptable. It was okay. It was fine.
For him to
but a lot of people do not want to let him love who he wants to love.
No, I feel like you're making way too many different points.
Yeah, black women are mad and black people are mad because we saw last week that Kanye West has had a red hat on with fucking words on it that mean absolutely nothing. A lot of black people at the core of it are mad as to a lot of black people are mad as to what happened to us in slavery. And I get that. But at the same time of us being mad, we have to keep it moving. We can't sit here and worry about what happened in slavery for the sake of it being slavery. If we're still worrying about it, that means we're still in it. We've had this whole dialogue of about 6 black people that know that slavery was fucked up. We have a lot of people that know that it was the wrong thing to do, and we are still sitting in it right now. Once black people get out of the hurt that they're in, then we can actually start making a lot of the changes that we need.
You just said that.
Wave the white flag. Wave the white flag.
Now wave the
The problem with what you're saying right now is that black people need to get over the fact that a white woman can do a black thing and get popping with
he
it.
said 2 separate things. Like the
I want to hit on something he said. You said.
On what you said.
Something he said.
You said that back in the day when Kanye was with a black woman and making, these films, he wasn't as popping as now when he is with a white woman. So you're basically saying because he's with a white person, exactly. Because he's with a white woman, because he's with a white person, his status just went up tenfold. So you're not only discrediting the black women, you're basically saying that white people are better, white women are better.
No, I'm not.
Because
No, I'm not.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
Let me defend Bruce.
No, I'm not.
you don't have to.
Okay,
Let me
The reality of this
submit
argument
some
is-
dialogue.
Right, but
Let me
the
submit-
reality of this argument is we're never going to see eye to eye because you're two black men and we are
No,
three black women.
it
That's
ain't
not-
even like
that's-
that.
That's true.
Okay, guys, I cannot hear all of y'all. So one person has to talk at a time.
It can go
Hey,
on for
That is
centuries.
true. That is true.
Millions of years.
It
It
can. That is
can,
true.
because
It
the
can.
reality of the matter
It can.
is, as a black woman,
It
I
can.
can never expect you to understand my
No,
experience.
That's true.
Or I can
The
never
position you guys
expect
put us
my
in,
me to
the position
understand.
you put us in when you say, oh, it's okay when a white woman does this,
I
when a
didn't
black.
put you in that situation.
Go ahead, Marcus. What's your point?
All I'm saying is, I don't want you to take too much offense because I don't want you to take what Bruce is saying out of context.
So put it in context. We were
That's
just
what
talking
I'm
about
trying to do.
Kanye.
That's all I'm trying to do. I don't want you to ever think that he is saying that Kim Kardashian is out here like.
She's not better than black women.
Yeah, that's not what he's
At
trying
all.
to say.
But she's
that's
making
not,
money.
That's not what he was trying to say.
But we were on the
Kanye-
point where why we supposedly hate Kim Kardashian, and you made the
I know.
point that it's because she's mimicking black people and she's getting likes. For
I know,
it.
but how many
that's
conversations do you have with Bruce?
Not anymore after today.
But how many years have you known Bruce?
Not that long.
Right. I've known Bruce for a lot of years. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've studied him for a lot of years. So if he says something, I'm carving through the dialogue. Kind of like the whole Kanye situation. I'm carving through the dialogue. You see what I'm saying? All he's saying is how society is reacted to Kanye. He's not saying like, oh, Kanye, Kim Kardashian is out here and she's better than black women.
Not at all.
That's not the situation. It's how society reacts to certain things. And it's like, that's what I don't want you to
But
be.
you should-
I feel like she's offended. I don't want you to
No,
be offended.
I'm not
I don't-
offended.
But society is
here's
one
the
word
thing.
that you could have added to that sentence.
But if he doesn't add it, that does not mean he didn't mean it.
But then
changes the
that's
whole sentence.
No,
I
it
know.
doesn't.
I
No,
know.
it
One
doesn't.
word
But that's
change
where
the whole
perspective.
context.
That's where
They
perspective
change
comes
the
Well,
from.
whole
let me
context.
clarify.
Because
That
no, when Melissa was like, Kanye said slavery was a choice versus 400 years of slavery is a choice. Those are two different meanings.
You need to put society in
Okay,
wait,
you have to understand
All
that.
right, so here's the thing. Okay, so since the fact that this video is going on YouTube, right? Somebody in Argentina.
Oh, this is on YouTube? Wait a second. Hold on now. Wait.
So listen, somebody who is like, let's say in Argentina who speaks English, doesn't really know what's going on. They're gonna be like, yo, oh my gosh, this black guy just said this. This is what we're trying to get you guys to be on the same page. But that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between how you're saying. Wait.
Because maybe he didn't
You
mean
had a
it.
lot
He
of
make himself clear.
You had a lot of
Let
let me
himself clear. That's
You have to clarify those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay, in the spiel that you just had, there are a few things that you said. There was a lack of in our society. There's a lot of, because how you mentioned Kim Kardashian, I also think it's quite ironic. It's the same thing that's happening in rap music. Like you have, for instance, white rappers getting the same thing that J. Cole is.
But this is nothing new.
But that's
It's nothing new.
Eminem
what makes it acceptable if we're free
Because of your
thinking.
13.4% population breakdown.
Look at this. Look
No.
at it like this. Look at it like
It's
this.
more than
Look at it. Look at it like this. Look at this.
If a white rapper comes out,
let me
you
hear
got
this.
all
Look
these.
at it like
You
this.
got 90,000,
Look at it
90%
like
more
this.
people to get the
Look at it
to
like
buy the
this.
album.
Look at it like this. When Eminem came out and did that freestyle about Trump, everybody wowed the fuck out.
Except
Yo, Eminem,
Except
right?
for me.
Except Marcus. It wasn't the greatest
I ain't buying
flow.
that shit, bro.
It wasn't the greatest freestyle of all
I
time.
bet you don't do
What
it.
everybody was all hung up was off the fact that Eminem said some shit about Trump. Now, what we would like to do as a black community, we would like to sort of take ownership of the kings and the warriors and the people that come out of us that actually go in there and change shit. But we still do not want to own those people when they actually go in and change the shit and say the things that we don't always agree with. What Kanye is doing, what he's always done, he's the first one to go in. He's the one that goes into the war. He's the first one that goes in and gets all the shots hit at him first so that other people after him can come out and do the exact same thing. And now we look at it like it's no problem. Shout out to Donald Glover. Shout out to Childish Gambino. The video that he just came out with is no different than what Kanye has been talking about for the last 15 years ongoing.
So what is he doing? So what is Kanye doing now?
All Kanye has to do at this point right now is be the influence. All that Kanye is doing right now, because he is just as powerful in a sense like a guy like Jay-Z. Jay-Z by far, in my opinion, is the best rapper alive. But a lot of the things that Jay-Z says and does, even for the sake of who he is, it can be considered right, it could be considered wrong, but just off the strength of what he says, there has been a whole following of people that we appreciate that has come out of just Jay-Z saying something. Shout out Kanye West and J. Cole. There wouldn't be a J. Cole if Kanye wasn't out there talking about the shit that he was talking about.
Do you think that Kanye West is, okay, aside from...
In a better point, Kanye is one of those artists where he don't even have to do nothing like Michael Jackson does, and you still gonna buy his album.
I'm not even worried about his album sales right now. What I'm trying to say, okay, do you think that what Kanye is doing, or do you think that Kanye is important enough to make some type of change, not only in society, but also in the black community?
Yes, he's already done it.
Can I go into my theory?
Go ahead.
Listen, I gotta get my move goal. I gotta go to 19-minute brisk walk.
Gotcha. Cool. So,
keep going.
I have the Kanye bully theory. Has anyone ever heard of Kanye and the word bully in the same sentence? Cool. Did anybody watch the Charlamagne the God Kanye interview?
I did.
Okay, I got one.
To which I have facts.
Any of you guys do that? Arresta? Did you watch that?
No.
Okay.
Cards.
So this is my serious problem with having debates with Kanye without having all the facts. You got all the facts in the world, except from the source. It's like, as far as like from the horse's mouth and the having the excuses and clarifying yourself, my man spoke for an hour and 45 minutes and you didn't even take the time to listen to it before you sat at this table.
But also, Kanye did not answer all the questions.
And that's cool.
Oh, that was cool.
So, I'll go back to the bully theory. I challenge you to go and watch the Ellen Kanye interview.
I watched it last night.
Where he brings up bullying. And it makes perfect sense, rant starting. Kanye goes into a concept where he talks about how he reached out to the head of Payless to do a shoot with Payless.
Payless.
And, hopefully you can relate. If you can't relate, hopefully you can just roll with me. But one of the biggest like challenges coming up as a kid in the United States isn't the oppression. It isn't like all these other things that's going on. You have something as simple as bullying. Who out here has solved bullying? As far as like the aspect of, look at the newest Atlanta episode, how like one kid had the real FUBU jersey and another kid didn't have the FUBU jersey, and like they spent 10 minutes going into the significance of what would happen to your life for having the fake FUBU jersey versus the real FUBU jersey. And how your whole reputation gets changed and how you get treated as a person by society. Just bullying as a concept. And it's like he reached out to Payless, the head of Payless, to create a shoe for them because, everybody can't afford Christian Louis Vuittons. Everybody can't afford Giuseppe Zanotti's at $1,000 a pop. People can't afford Jordans at $200 a pop.
But hold on.
So it's like, look at Shaq, for example. Like Shaq, people dog Shaq out for having a shoe at Payless, but he owned his shoe. He get all the royalties from his shoe, and it's like he didn't have like one of the longest shoe brands of all the sports players, just because he had his stuff at Payless where people could actually afford his stuff. So it's like when you take bullying as a concept, look at the Yeezy shoe. It's like you got to be hip on how the Yeezy shoe from Nike to Louis Vuitton, all the way to Adidas. Like you had Nike, the whole situation with Nike, internship with Louis Vuitton. Then when he got to Adidas, he's selling shoes for $300, $220 a pop, but they so popular. You know, the resale is $800, $1,000, whatever.
At least.
And you got people like Chinese kids who can only have like one child. They putting all their finances to the Georgia Tech kids. They got on Yeezy sneakers. You know, people who you know, they got all these bots. It's like it's so much deeper. And I think that's where the perspective comes in, because it's like we have such a limited perspective when we think about what people say. It's like the work is in your actions. If you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to have a premium shoe that is going to be accessible to everybody for retail price, that's hard to do.
It's damn near impossible.
That's hard to do.
It's damn near impossible.
When you're Off-White, or when you are when you are Yeezy and you putting out this shoe and you can't even fight, you know, the capitalism fast enough, because people are going to take this shoe and resell it so they can gain monetary value off of swag, off of public image, and then they take it. You're taking it, you're buying it, and it's like now you strategize to the point to where you can get a shoe down the resale value. I'll give you a perfect example: the Deseret 500. Deseret 500 is the first Adidas shoe that doesn't look anything like a Nike shoe. It's like first or second piece of work. First or second piece of work with Adidas. Now, normally when a shoe comes out, you can't get your hands on it, especially somebody like me who wears size 14. You gotta pay. You can't afford it. It's over $500 after 2 hours after it come out.
But you still want that Yeezy though.
It's a whole different dynamic now. You know, he sold it with some clothes. He changed his strategy. It's like you really have to fight against things that is me going back to the $500,000 won a presidential election. You got to fight against things like that, and it's like these are against the status quo. So it's like I said, going back to I'm on a long ass rant right now. Going back, tying it back to like, you know, the 400 years is a choice. Yeah, if I'm Harriet Tubman, like we're stopping this today. Tomorrow, we're not doing this shit no more. I'm about to devise a plan to get us the fuck out of this, because I'm not choosing to do this no more.
Can I ask you though, on a more modern day term, because okay, so Francis, I don't want to butcher her name, but Francis
use automotive. Use automotive as a regular term, like gasoline cars.
Wait, pause. I'm not. Something's just flying over my head right now. What's going on?
Things being a choice, like use gasoline cars as an analogy.
But no. What I'm trying, basically, I don't know what the heck. I'm sorry, this is just going over my head. But what I meant to say. What I'm trying to say is, okay, with the whole intellectual thinking, and as well as the not the choice to be as free as possible. I think this is where economics really comes into power. Whoa, that's real close, baby. You know, I don't got no apple care, okay? Okay? You don't know apple care? Apple care, my boo. Oh my God! I'm just saying, baby.
Oh, it is all over.
Yo, I don't got no kind of apple care. But what I'm saying, I think that I believe his name is Van. A point
Van
that
from TMZ?
Yeah, he made this point. I think
you work for TMZ.
Wait,
you work for TMZ.
That's a lot of energy.
Stop.
Okay, but that's a
you
point
work for TMZ.
That's a point. Okay, but that's one of the points.
What are you in business of doing?
Well, that's one of my points, is that, okay, the difference between, this is where money becomes very important in the black community, because of the fact that you truly cannot be, unfortunately, extremely free, or in your purest, freest, whatever form, because of the fact that, unfortunately, you can't really do nothing in the United States without money. You have to still understand. Well, pause. I'll let you talk, my brother. Let me finish. Because of the fact that you still have African American people, or just black people, really, still being crucified for trying to be free. What's his name? Kaepernick doesn't have a job, and then not even on top of that,
black people still watch NFL
all day long.
but
And
Shout out
black
to the
people
family.
wait,
still
pause.
have
I'm trying to, but I'm
Shout out to
trying
the
to. Okay,
family.
I understand this. Okay, I get that point. But even if, but think about it, right? When black people try to get a loan, black people are 2 or 3 times as likely to be not approved for a loan. So that's one thing it's not saying, okay, you know what? Sometimes we have to be realistic. We have to be extremely realistic. Yes, Kanye is saying to be as free as possible, but your free thoughts can get you booked in jail.
Right.
Your free thoughts, so your free thoughts can get you unemployed. Your free thoughts can get you. But it's Kanye, and Kanye is on what Charlamagne said in the interview, rich nigga shit. You have to understand, but that's the point though. That's the point though. So that's why
he gave you the blueprint.
But that's what we're trying to tell you.
He gave you the blueprint.
What we're trying to tell you is that
his words are contradicting because we can't.
It's not realistic.
It's not
Okay. So here's this. All right. So so what y'all are saying is that y'all want Kanye to go down to the common man's level and make it accessible for the fact that if what he says, he's being irresponsible in what he's saying and what he's thinking, and he's not being realistic to the whole demographic that he's actually supposed to represent.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I have a question for you. So let's say, for example, Kanye is the only richest black person ever, right? How the fuck is that gonna help the whole black society if Kanye is the only person that's ever to get to that level? That's only saying, 1 second, that's only saying that people who can get to that level, you have to understand that there are still barriers here, and that's what Kanye is not really getting to understand. Go ahead, y'all, go ahead.
There's a reason why he compares himself to a Disney, a Elon Musk, a Steve Jobs, people like that. And it's like, you're like, oh, what would he do if he has so much money? He's an innovator. Like I told you about bullying.
But how is that directly helping us?
It's helping you because kids have to go to school. You see what I'm saying?
Which is not funded, which is a whole nother, I'm sorry.
Yo,
but the way schools are funded, first of all,
about the funding. It's not about the funding.
But the education in school is not leading.
Take school out. We're just talking about the society portion.
But I feel like what Melissa's trying to say is because of Kanye's status, he could get away with a lot more than we can.
That's not what I'm saying.
So
you asked about the money. You asked about the money and what he could do. I'm like, yo, this dude is an innovator.
Okay, now what he could do? Is he doing anything?
Right.
Yes. Is he doing anything? What he could do a lot. He has the money. He has the status. He has the power. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Going back to the Payless deal, look what he did for as far as like clothes are concerned. I just told you, like if this was 10, 12, 13, 14 years ago, whether you had a fake FUBU jersey or a FUBU jersey, or if you just didn't wear clothes like that, all that shit mattered. All that shit mattered. Like or if you just wore some Gap, like some non-brand stuff, all this stuff matters as far as like, because there's a new form of slavery which he also has been preaching about, which is the classism. Like, oh, you're poor, I don't care what race you are, I ain't rocking with you because you ain't got no money. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's different forms of oppression. And it's like, if you take with fashion, and it's like, if you got to take something, we got so caught up with brands as a society. You got the FUBUs, we got the Coogis, we had a whole, we just flipped through all them Met Gala outfits. We looked at nothing for an hour.
Here's what I'm saying though today. What y'all want out of Kanye is not necessarily something that he can't give, but at the same time, everybody does things different. And just because he's an artist, just because he's a black man, just because he's somebody that has done things in his career, it doesn't necessarily give him the right to just necessarily go off a tangent and just completely disassociate. But what Kanye has done as well, just by default, TMZ used to crucify him. And TMZ and every paparazzi that got an opinion about Kanye used to crucify him. When he said what he said about Taylor Swift, everybody who wants to say what they're saying now would be like, oh yeah, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't the craziest thing that he said. But when he said it then, everybody thought that he was absolutely crazy. His president called him an idiot, jackass, who was a black man who had also done something that had never been done before. All Kanye at the core of it, this is what I say as far as it with Trump. He aligned with Trump just because he feels the fact that Trump has done something that has never been done before.
He grabbed the microphone from a
Hold on. He did that. And for the sake of it, it was 8 years before Kanye came back out and did something else. It took 8 years for Kanye to come out with My Dark Twisted Fantasy. In my opinion, My Dark Twisted Fantasy is the best album that Kanye West has ever done in his entire career. Life of Pablo was dope and all that. But what people are asking of Kanye is like, what has he done? Well, if you want to marginalize him as an artist, well, what he's done as an artist, he's made albums, he's made clothing, he's made shoes, he has made product that has not only in a sense been popular, but because of the fact that people idolize Kanye the way that they do, the product that he has come out with Adidas, which he had to eventually get because Nike screwed him over. Nike screwed Kanye West over.
As a black person.
Kanye West, as a black person and as an artist, had did something with Nike that had never been done before outside of Michael Jordan. It took Michael Jordan at least 20 years to get to the point of the money that he's making right now. Kanye might be able to touch that in 5 years.
Okay.
Do you know how long it took for him to do that?
Okay, cool. So the music, the fashion.
Oh my God.
The brand.
The brand.
That's not what we're
What
aiming at.
socially has he done that's going
Okay.
to...
Look, now look at it for the sake of social. Look at it from a social. Look at it from a social. Hold on. Look at it from a social standpoint.
He's been able to put black people in better positions. So if you take Virgil,
take Virgil. Take Virgil Abloh.
My mama came in town and we went to AMC at Phipps Place. She from Kansas City. She ain't around all this. So when we going through like Saks Fifth Avenue, she's like, "Oh, you like all these fancy brands?" I'm like, "No, I like black designers."
Facts.
Okay.
You real loud in my ears. So.
Okay.
Facts.
So I'm just saying. I mean,
what else?
You got Chance the Rapper.
Okay, Chance. What else?
You got John Legend.
I can just if I need one. No. But look at John Legend's track record.
Look at what John Legend has been able to accomplish since Ordinary People. Because he got signed to good music.
Okay, John Legend. What is he doing for the common Negro?
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, go pull out John Legend and see what he hasn't done.
Any positive effect
I'm seriously inquiring as someone who does not know, right?
that you have on one black life is enough. You see what I'm saying? Like, it is. If you have one positive impact on somebody,
I do agree with that.
Somebody's life that is of your skin color, that's a benefit.
So
like the Virgin Mary in this outside.
From every angle.
Right. It's just the blue and then it's just okay.
But okay, so I guess what I'm clearly still lacking here in this understanding.
What are you lacking?
A lot, apparently.
Let us know.
Apparently. What I'm not understanding is having an impact on another artist to help them get to an area. But what is he doing for the common person?
Okay,
like
told you about the bullying.
You cannot call out a president.
He met with Trump about trying to get the situation.
You cannot call out a president and say, you ain't do nothing for Chicago.
Okay.
Even the mayor agreed. The mayor agreed.
What president has done one thing for one city singular?
This is what I'm saying. This is the problem in what we're saying.
Bush made it so that them Florida votes got thrown away.
Is it a city or a state?
Oh, my bad.
Right.
State's bigger.
So what city?
This is again.
My bad.
This is the impossible. This is the impossible task that has been put.
You have no idea.
This has been the impossible task that has been placed on Kanye's head. Okay, when he has become who he is as an artist and who he is as a man. What it is that when he has actually done all of this stuff that we've talked about in the last 10 years, now it comes back to...
I was about to say, wow, it's only been an hour and 45 minutes.
It's only been an hour and 45 minutes. What he has done in the past 10, 15 years, now it gets reduced back to what has he done for the common man. And I'll tell you what Kanye West has done for the common man. he has inspired the common man.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you know what?
There are a lot
We
of
getting that.
inspirational
We getting
people out
that.
there. I would
There
I would say my father is an inspirational man. He came from a family. He was the oldest of 5 children.
Right.
He had no money. He had a full ride scholarship to an Ivy League university. He is now working as the executive director for race relations for the city of Charlotte. He goes to several cities and counsels them on how to impact communities that are underserved. However, my dad's work for inspiration, that's not alone.
Okay.
It's physically.
Y'all remember when Kim
Right.
Kardashian? Hold on. Let me make one last point and I'll shut up. Let me make one last point and I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Let's just stop.
I'll shut up. I promise I'll shut up.
I'm gonna play this word.
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian paid for Alton Sterling's son to go to college.
Bruce, so they pay for one student?
That's many bands. It's one student.
Is that
down.
Because I started scholarship. I'm pretty sure Beyonce funded how many students?
Exactly.
A lot.
The
lot.
CEO of Amazon
A
funded
ton.
how much?
A
33
ton.
million, right?
They all doing
So here's
positive
the thing.
things.
Here's the thing. If you're
It doesn't outweigh
if you're
the other.
inspiring people and you're building up this much wealth and equity for your family, and you're wanting to be this mogul of inspiration for the Black community, doing one thing for one person is great. Absolutely. One life touched, one life impacted. Cool. But here's the thing. All this, that's not enough for you to, again, I'm sorry, bringing it back. That's not enough for you to go back and say reckless shit.
Got you.
Period.
All right, I'm gonna play this word, okay?
Play your part.
Bruce, if you don't come back here like it's a
Bruce
whole
said he
podcast.
done. Bruce said he
transition
done.
from being an employee to venturing out as an entrepreneur will be difficult. However, it can be done. Remember in the Bible when the children of Israel were enslaved in Egypt? They gave up their freedom to Egypt for protection against financial
I'm sorry, can you read that for
known as
me?
famine.
Because
Egypt
let's
gladly
read
made the
it.
trade with them. Israel would work,
Listen,
and
you sound
Egypt
like
would
a
provide.
series.
However, God wanted his chosen people to be free, so he sent Moses to lead them to a promised land,
Oh,
a
wow.
land
We
where
are
they
gonna
could be
play with
entrepreneurs and
We're not gonna
Make
do Bibles.
Right.
That's what we're not gonna do.
Oh my God.
Because we're not gonna do the Bible, a book that was
Here's the
given to us
Okay.
during slavery
Here's the
by the
thing.
white people.
And
I'm
we're
just-
not
gonna
I'm
guess
just bringing up a
we're not
biblical
gonna guess
example.
on the Bible,
I'm just
y'all.
giving you
Not
a
right now.
biblical
y'all.
Here's the thing.
Not on this podcast.
And I say this as a firm believer.
I can't believe y'all just ditched the word like this.
No, we didn't.
It's not even about missing the word,
this.
but
That's
not.
not the word.
I just want, it was a
So-
word. I just want you to listen to
can
it.
here's the
You can
thing.
create your own
Well, here's
perspective.
the thing.
It isn't right or wrong.
Here's the thing.
I just want you to hear something
we're
that
not
inspires.
gonna do
When you told me about this, when you told
evidence from the white
when you
man
told me about
to defend
Ooh,
the community. What we're not gonna do.
Jesus colored the skin of clay, hair like wool. No, ma'am.
No, I'm saying the
I'm
fact
sorry.
that I'm saying
I'm sorry,
evidence.
but
I'm missing
no,
the
ma'am.
Bible.
How many motherfuckers think that Jesus
What I'm
was
saying,
white and they know that he wasn't white? How many?
No.
How many motherfuckers think that Jesus was white and they know he wasn't white? How many believe that?
I never
That man is not white.
colored Jesus. I never colored God. I'm saying
The Bible
during slavery, the only thing they allowed us to read was the Bible that they
Not
gave us.
true.
Go ahead.
What?
What
If you talking about the first generation of slaves, or you talking about the ones after?
Hey, that's a good question though.
Okay.
I didn't see that coming.
Y'all, all
I
right.
didn't see that coming.
So in this last 15, 10 minutes,
Whoa.
15 minutes. 'Cause we already
You still got film? Oh my
yeah.
God.
We already
On an
got 2
iPhone?
hours. So what we're gonna do is,
Everybody get 30 seconds.
yes, right. We're gonna get your last. We're gonna get your last little, cause I got a little time right here. You have exactly 2 minutes max to
Like, I'm friends with everyone here.
I want you to come tomorrow and I want you to just accept me for who I am.
to present your point, because I do
I'll
think
go
that
last.
conversation like
No,
you're gonna go first because I'm
Why I gotta get marginalized and go first? Why I gotta go first?
Oh my God.
No, I'm gonna turn this Kanye shit out. I wanna go last.
First of all, we're gonna let Moses and Moses Jr. go first.
We're gonna,
Now we gotta jump.
No, y'all can go first.
No, but it's gonna be. Don't be mad if I cut you off at 2 minutes. Like I will legit stop the mic. So I just want to say, of course, course, this particular conversation is, I'm not even sure if I want to do like a whole remix to this. I would want to, but low-key, I want to do like a pop quiz to make it more so, instead of like a discussion, is more based off of, to prove what kind of information we do have and what kind of level of knowledge we do have. So in your 2 minutes of the grand scheme of things, what do you have to say?
Kanye West is an innovator. Kanye West is the first nigga to do it. Kanye West has been the guy that has always inspired black people. Kanye West has been the guy that is still for the black man. Kanye West is not only just a black man, he was a brother to us. Black people need to accept Kanye and actually need to forgive him if they don't always agree with what he's saying. What he's saying is actually for the betterment of us. In time, we just have to actually look back and actually see what he's done, and then we could look at his work, we could look at everything that he has done from the beginning and actually use that as inspiration to actually change the paradigm, to actually shift it and actually make it better for our people. Kanye West is free to do whatever the fuck he wants as a black man, and everybody that has followed Kanye West, they don't actually believe in Kanye West, but they believe in themselves. And if you don't believe...
Time.
I think he had one more sentence, but
I know he did.
y'all could have
get it. The rules were clear.
Who wanna go next?
The rules were clear.
You wanna go next? Go ahead, Arissa.
Oh, this should be good.
Wow, cameraman.
I feel attacked.
I feel personal. Cameraman, you're real emotional, cameraman.
You gotta include that. We're still in the final cut.
Young man.
Oh my God.
Listen, here's the thing. You're socially responsible for the content that comes out of your mouth, because I do believe it is a direct reflection of your character. It is a direct reflection of your heart. If you mean something, say it, but think that shit out. At no point in time are we going to give you excuses. Oh, he has mental illness. That's why you wouldn't shut up the church. That's not okay. No. You did what you did, you said what you said, and you meant it. The reality of the matter is your influence is going to be felt, so you are responsible for your influence, and at no point in time are you granted a pass just because, he's just a free thinker. Be a free thinker, but educate people on free thinking. Don't attack the black community. There are other people that can be attacked. You could have talked about the Vietnamese people that got entrapped in the Vietnam War. They chose to get snatched up by the U.S.
You got 30 seconds, so you can keep going.
Point blank, period. That's how I feel. You need to get your shit together. As a black man, you are representing the black community. Kim Kardashian, I have no words outside of I'm not a fan. If she can do it, why the fuck can't I? Bitch, blonde hair like that.
Exactly.
No. But the reality of the matter is, if you are for the black community, you also have to be sensitive to the damage that you're doing to the black community, point blank, period. You have to look out for your man physically, emotionally, and mentally. You can't break people down like that and just expect them to understand what you're saying.
Go ahead, Marcus.
All right, man.
You're not gonna read this Bible verse.
Listen.
In night mode.
Listen, and this is just a story, if there are some conflicting things going on.
You got 30 seconds. Let me stop.
God allowed, I want you to just take this into consideration. God allowed, let me do it. Ultimately, they could not break out of the mindset of working for Egypt. So as a recourse, God allowed a generation of Israelites to die in the wilderness. Why? The thing that died with them is the negative process of being enslaved. In the place was born a new generation of Israelites who hadn't grown up, who did not grow up in slavery and made the transition from slave to master because their minds were not burdened with the thoughts of the past. Now, I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I like having friendly debates just to have friendly debates.
All friendly debates.
I just think that I got a lot of knowledge as far as like that particular person in this particular topic. We could always agree to disagree. I just think as far as like perspective is concerned, you gotta have a large perspective, and I got a huge perspective on that particular situation. Am I knowledgeable about other situations? Maybe not. But I respect everybody's opinion. I definitely, I'll take it with me as far as like being able to review it and add it to my theories, my ongoing theories. And you know, that's just primarily.
Okay, mine is real short. All I want to say is, as I guess a representation for the Black community, Kanye should just be very mindful of what he says and how he says it. Of course, everyone's going out here and saying he might have said this one statement, but that's not what he meant. But if he said it and that's how we perceived it, it was his choice whether to go and correct himself or not. So what I'm saying is Kanye needs to understand where he stands in the Black community and what work he has to do in order to, I guess, erase the hurt he has caused the Black community. It's just about being mindful and being cautious about what you do.
Yeah, I guess all I really have to say is there are some pros to what Kanye has presented. Clearly, it's allowed us to have this beautiful discussion. It has allowed to probably put fire under some asses of people who are at home trying to figure out, okay, you know what can I do? And I do believe that this is a conversation that does need to be had. But this is also beautiful in that it reminds us that in the media, we are misrepresented, okay? That's the only thing. It brings to light the things that we need to address. In the media, we are misrepresented. The good things that we do are not emphasized, you know what I'm saying? And it's probably something that it's gonna continue to happen. But it reminds us that we constantly have to make sure, unfortunately, we gotta do so much work on top of the work that we're already putting in. On the, a little upset side, I will say...
Time!
I got 45 seconds.
The longest 2 minutes.
But no. I will say though, you need to make sure you are. Kanye got money for PR. Is all I'm saying. Like he needs to be able to effectively say some of the things and say it in a way that we can all understand.
It's still Yeezy season. June 1st.
I will say, ending on that, what are you doing to free us? What are you doing to free you? And that is the end of this segment. Woo, Lord, 2 hours later. Right.
June 7th, Kanye Kid Cudi.
After this, I want to
Tiana Taylor.
It's a wrap.